All right, we're live a little bit early with bad optics for once because I'm never early. But today we're going to be talking about gun violence, and I have Wolfshot, Tigerson, and Run and Guns. I'm going to go from my box over. So, Wolfshot, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Wolfshot. I like to fuck shit up. My Twitter's at Fangs to Flush, and my YouTube is Wolfshot.
Cool. Tigerson?
Hello, I'm Tigerson, and I'm mostly on Twitter, but I have a YouTube channel, and my Twitter is TIGERS0N, and I guess, I like politics and music and stuff like that, and but I'm a math student, so I do math stuff as well sometimes. But anyway, and I recently did a big statistical analysis video on my YouTube channel about guns, which is why I'm here today to kind of bring a bit more nuance after that. So yeah, thanks for inviting me on, Thorn.
Yeah, it was a great video. Y'all should definitely go watch it. Very well researched. Run and
Thank you.
Guns.
I'm Running Guns News. I run a pro gun channel. If you believe in self-preservation, you'll subscribe.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great information there as well. Very enlightening. I like it quite a bit. You should definitely go subscribe to him as well. And subscribe to Wolfshot because she likes to fuck shit up.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm here is I'm previous law enforcement.
Yeah, she is.
So
And also because I like her.
yay.
Yay.
I have friends.
What's that word?
What's Stop it, Ron. You know you have friends. All right. So, part of the reason I named the stream gun violence is strictly because Run actually has an issue with the word, and I kind of wanted to start out with him explaining why he has an issue with that term.
Well, that's kind of a false term because this is going to sound stupid, but nobody will ever use the term knife violence or bat violence, and an inanimate object cannot be violent, only people can. And a stupid term coined by the media to scare people. And fortunately, it works.
I was just going to, because I've used that term recently in my video, and the main reason why I'd use it is simply just to kind of get across what I'm referring to rather than, but also I guess I'd use the term in a way to describe when guns are used in an inappropriate or abusive way. But yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
But yeah, you hit it nail on the head in an abusive way. Most people just ignore that fact.
Well, some people are abusive with guns, and some people are not.
Yeah, the term is definitely misleading. Definitely, and it is.
Mostly, I was using it just to kind of get across what I was just a meaning in terms of the media term, but not because I actually believe that the word. I think the word gun violence is a bit of a kind of dodgy thing to put together.
Oh no, the media definitely uses it as a trigger, as like a hot button, hey, a clickbait kind of title, I think, or term, really. It's very misleading.
Mm-hmm. Like a buzzword. It's just another it's another thing to use in a talking point.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you use the term gun violence, basically what you're trying to do is using it as a talking point and also tying guns only to violence. So it's just if you say it enough that people will automatically associate them with only that.
Well, guns are violent, as in you can't really use a gun without violent. Like hunting is violence, but hunting isn't fundamentally malicious. It's just a kind of a smear, really. But guns are violent, but violent is amoral, essentially. Violence very much depends on the circumstance and the intent, etc. So yeah.
Yes, it's definitely intent. I'm having a hard time typing and doing this.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest takeaway is the intent, especially in law. It's always about intent. And
Though
please
it's
don't mind the singing in the background. It's my wife. I apologize.
Oh, she's lovely. Well, proving intent is, a complete grey area in all areas of the law, whether it be through violence or sexual assault, or even, financial things. Proving intent of stuff is just a grey area in all areas of the law, isn't it?
Well, we have to figure out whether it's mala in se or mala in prohibitum. Essentially, is it excuse me? Is it intent with premeditation in mind, or is it intent because it's a law, because it's just prohibited?
Is this all stuff that you'd learned from, or that was sort of part of you being a cop?
No, this is
About
it's
intent, or is it just stuff you know about?
this is from pre-law school. This is from police training. This is from a couple different sources.
I've got a question for you guys. Obviously, most shootings, everybody's heard about the media because they basically burn you out of them. Now, did anybody in here hear about the incident that was on Christmas a couple of years ago that involved a car on the strip?
Whereabouts was that?
Yeah, I actually had heard about. Yeah, it was. Was it on
A
Fremont
woman.
Street?
They just said the strip. I didn't. I don't remember which street it was specifically, but some woman was trying to park a car somewhere. Here's a story I remember. I'm not actually going to go find it, but she was trying to park a car somewhere and kept getting kicked out of parking garages. She got annoyed and actually started running over people on the sidewalk.
I
knew it wasn't an accident because she went off the sidewalk and went back onto it.
Yeah, that was Fremont Street. She just recently got convicted of murder.
Where was that?
That is vehicular manslaughter.
That was Las Vegas, Nevada.
How long ago?
Year or two ago. Give me a second to find it.
Let's
see here.
I would definitely, if she had the intent to do it, that's vehicular homicide, in my opinion.
She jumped back. She jumped back onto the strip on the sidewalk and did it twice. So
yeah, that's
no accident on it.
Yeah,
the
vehicular.
The fundamental of this is that concentrating all efforts, whether it be the government or these gun control advocates, concentrating all effort on merely limiting access to firearms is not going to, solve the intent or try and discourage malicious intent. It's but I guess I don't know whether it's just a cultural thing from me not, as I said in the video that I made, me not getting it because I'm not really culturally indoctrinated in America, that there's just always this nagging out the back of my mind that a certain level might help things a bit, but obviously if the only thing they're going to concentrate on is limiting access to firearms in some way, then yeah, you're not going to solve a kind of a root problem. You're just going to kind of slightly what's the word? Just tone down the symptoms a little bit. But yeah,
I believe it was in 2015 around Christmas. I'm trying to find the exact date. The car incident.
So, Tigerson, I actually, despite the fact that I live in the United States, I actually, I come from Illinois. I come from Cook County, Illinois, which doesn't have gun culture as places like in the South. It's not as prevalent where I'm from. And in fact, in the city of Chicago, like guns they're tied to crime for a reason. And that's because
sorry,
yes?
could you start that again from when I was saying Tigerson, because I just got interrupted by someone came into the room and I wasn't sorry. I didn't get when you started from there.
Oh, no problem.
Again, yeah.
I was saying that I'm kind of in a similar situation to you because of where I grew up and where I live now doesn't have the same gun culture as like the American South or even where Ron lives. And for most of Chicago's history, like guns have been tied almost specifically to crime. However, I don't think that guns in Chicago cause crime. I think that something that people on the left overlook is that there are other causes to high homicide rates. Would you guys agree with that?
Chicago is often somewhere pointed to by people when especially are making a case for black on black violence, and as in there's high levels of violence from black people in Chicago, and I would link that back to poverty and the broken families in the black communities, which are encouraging crime and just general dysfunction amongst black people. But so I would definitely say that you're not attacking the prevalence of firearms in Chicago is certainly not good. It's missing the root cause of the problem there. Whereabouts did you grow up?
I grew up in the northwest suburbs of Cook County.
Is that in Chicago?
Cook County is the county in which Chicago resides. It's the most populous county in the state of Illinois.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And yeah, Chicago does get picked on quite a bit, also in terms of like homicide rate, despite the fact that we technically don't have the highest homicide rate. We just have the highest total of homicides, which is not the same freaking thing.
I mean, my brother was in Chicago a couple of months ago. He was doing a bit of traveling, and he talked about the great time he had, and it probably is the case that when you're sort of on the ground in Chicago, everything will get blown out of proportion, especially from a perspective from the media across the Atlantic. So all this sorts of stuff can get blown out of proportion, but yeah, Chicago does get shit on a bit.
Yeah, if I could take a moment to put that in proportion, actually. I looked up total homicide rate. I looked up per capita homicide rates and non-fatal shootings in 4 different cities in the United States. And per capita homicide rate is per 100,000 people.
Sure,
so Chicago has a rate of 16.4 per 100,000 people, which sounds like a lot, except when you take into account that New Orleans has 46.9 per 100,000 people. So it means that you're actually more likely to be, and this is just all homicides. This is not just guns, because I couldn't find I wanted to use FBI statistics and they were a little weird. So I just did total homicides. So you're actually more likely to be murdered in New Orleans than you are in Chicago. St. Louis is, sorry, go ahead.
I just said, wow.
Yeah.
I'm just, sorry. I've got to just go away for a bit, maybe 5-10 minutes. I'll come back. I will. It's unexpected, but I will come back. But so if you want to try and talk about stuff that might not, might be, you won't be able to necessarily link it to my video if you wanted to discuss that. So stuff that would be find more practical to discuss without me. That's fine. But yeah, I'll be back.
No, cool. Yeah.
Soon. Yeah. Sorry. Unexpected.
No, it's all good. Shit happens.
Yes.
Shit does happen. Yeah, and also in the per capita rate for Miami, which I actually lived in Miami for 4 years, is slightly higher than Chicago at 17. But their total of non-fatal shootings is 90 per 100,000 people. To Chicago's 88. And St. Louis,
you're more likely to get killed in a construction accident because it's never fucking done here.
Yeah, no, and by the way, St. Louis has a non-fatal shooting rate of 659.
So people just have that aim.
Yeah. Lots and lots of drive-bys. St. Louis actually has a huge problem with gangs that generally doesn't hit the news very much. But a lot of the things with violence involving guns is tied to violence committed by gangs, especially in large cities. And even in rural areas, I know, Wolfshot, you could probably speak to it. They're not street gangs like they exist in St. Louis and Detroit and Chicago, but I mean, you have those small drug rings in that kind of sense. They exist in a looser sense, don't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had certain areas that I was an officer in a kind of large city in Virginia, and we had around a college campus, so that made things twice as interesting, especially when the kids were coming back to school or going away from school, whatever the fuck. If someone farted, there would be like 8 fraternities, like, you know, partying on. It wasn't the college kids. It was the kids coming in from these bad, quote, I'm air quoting, bad neighborhoods.
Here, air quotes.
Yeah, air quote. There you go. Thank you. And they would bring in drugs or one time we had just outside, someone was having a barbecue and this dude just decided to fire off a couple shots.
Of course.
And a girl got hit in the leg, and we're just like,
that's horrible.
But why though? But why though? And then we had another incident where this girl, she was in a dire situation. I don't want to go into specifics, but a dire situation, and she was explaining it to the dispatcher, and apparently this other girl grabbed the phone and said, "Don't bring the cops here. There are drugs." And the dispatcher was like, "Oh no, we're going to send them anyways." And we show up. One of the individuals was a crackhead or a meth head or some kind of substance abusing asshole. Decided to get we got the drop on them. He shot at us with a .45, and that situation was handled. Thank God. We went into the house, and there's about 250 pounds worth of cocaine in this house. And crack cocaine. I don't know how many pounds of crack cocaine there was, but there was 250 pounds of cocaine, just fucking cocaine. And that's why the girl didn't want to call the cops.
Yeah. And whenever somebody's like, no, hang up the phone. That's when you absolutely have to go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, seriously, every fucking time. And it's in these very impoverished places. If you know what broken windows theory is, right?
Yeah, I
know it's been debunked. But some of it, in my opinion, still lays true. If your neighborhood is a shithole, it looks like a shithole, it's going to be treated like a shithole. Honestly, yeah. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
I would say, though, that the flaw with broken windows theory is that it's not because your neighborhood is a shithole that it stays a shithole. It's like you made it a shithole.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's perpetuated.
Yeah, it's a perpetual motion machine of bullshit.
And then you've exactly. And then you've got, and when the city has had enough of your bullshit, they come in, evict you, tear everything down, and start building houses, raise the rent, raise the lot prices around of the entire neighborhood, and move all that element out.
Mm-hmm. You can see that actually. A lot of neighborhoods in Chicago are perfect examples of that. It's happening with Uptown right now, but there's an area of Chicago called Lincoln Park that used to be an absolute fucking shithole because you had projects and warehouses, and that was about it. And eventually, like, the city got tired of the rampant crime issue and the projects, and they tore them all down. And now, like, I could not afford a fucking closet in Lincoln Park. Yeah. It's a beautiful area. Still a lot of warehouses and such because it was by the tracks there. But like the area is awesome now. That's where the freaking Apple built one of their stores there.
Yeah, we call that gentrification.
Yeah, gentrification.
It's a lot of fun.
And it's usually not a bad thing, sometimes is. But yeah.
It all depends on where you are. Seriously, it really comes down to the micro level. Honestly. And
it depends on how it's done too, because in Miami there's a lot of the gentrification happening like just over the bay in that Overtown area where they're buying up a lot of the houses. And like in Miami, Overtown is a really fucking poor area. Mm-hmm. So on the edges of Overtown, these Chinese investors started buying them and tearing down the houses. Tearing down all the crappy houses and everything, and they're building these high rises, right? Here's the thing: the high rises are at any given time maybe 10% occupied. So, you know, you kind of destroy the places where people live, and no one's living there now. which is like kind of an example of the wrong way to do shit.
Well, they want that bad element out, though. That's well, not bad. I'm not air quotes, please, Thorn. Bad element out.
Air quotes.
Thank you. Oh, those are some good air quotes. She gives good air quote, guys. Gives good air quote.
And that's why she's married.
exactly. But I mean, as an officer, the air quote gun violence I've seen, it's
violence involving guns.
Yeah, exactly. It was very few and far between, honestly. It was mostly assholes being assholes. Like, I think I've only been.
That's usually how shit goes.
I've only been, like I said, the one with the crackhead or the meth head, or his name was Jongja or Jongcha. I can't remember the dude's fucking name to save my life, but that time and another time was the only time I've ever had a gun pulled on me, and I was in for 5 years.
Damn.
So the rest of it was mostly bullshit, bats,
knives,
and assholes. And knives, yeah. Well, not even like I think maybe 4 or 5 times I could count on my hand how many times I've been involved in that, and a lot of fucking traffic stops and a shitload of paperwork. So much fucking paperwork and court dates, going to court. That was my career wrapped up. That's it.
No. Date is like the problem when we remove the bad element from one area. Oftentimes it becomes a worse element, and that's definitely true. If you look at statistics, like Chicago had a spike in 2014, and the reason they had a spike was because of gentrification. They were removing people from one area, and they all moved into the same fucking area. So that criminal element basically got like, you have gangs that normally wouldn't be in that area crossing lines. Layla.
I'm sorry.
So you had gang members that normally wouldn't be coming into contact with each other as often that were, and it was starting a war. So all of a sudden, Chicago's homicide rate had a spike that we are slowly recovering from, but it doesn't happen overnight. Like, it's going to take some time. Dead air.
Yeah, luckily the shit around here doesn't happen often enough to that way we can recover pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the rest of the fucking planet usually doesn't want to recover from our stuff.
That's true.
Well, it's just gentrification. The thing with the bad element going to another bad element, yeah, that is in fact true. I mean, it's just what are you supposed to do? I mean, honestly. And I had a really good fucking thing I was going to say, but I was like, hey, Layla, can you shut up for a second? Because I'm live.
Go ahead.
Shit. I can't remember now. So.
I hate that. It's like, hold on, I got an idea. 3 seconds later. Fuck.
That's what happened when Tiger Sin interrupted me. I was just like, fuck, I had a good flow going there.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck.
Don't worry, you'll remember just as we all disconnect.
Pretty much.
Right, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, New Orleans. When Katrina happened, a lot of people got displaced. So I remember on the news when they were the people were transported to like Texas and other parts of the country, and the crime spiked, especially along coastal Texas. For whatever, where was it? I think it was Corpus Christi.
That makes sense.
The violence spiked since the people that were displaced from Katrina came into the city and were basically staying in low-income housing. Because it was kind of this fight for quote-unquote resources.
Yeah.
So you're not going to know why I laughed at that.
Huh?
Also,
why?
No. The stupid MGTOW thing.
Oh, yeah, but the reason that that happened was that the people that were displaced from Katrina and largely were unable to go back from the 9th Ward, which is an extremely poor area of New Orleans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that documentary, speaking of which, of New Orleans called When the Levees Broke?
Tell me about it.
Sounds familiar, but no.
It's by HBO. It's in 4 parts. It's probably one of the best documentaries I've seen on Katrina. It basically goes from before it started until after, like, I think 2 years after Katrina. And it shows these certain families who were displaced and all the footage that they gathered during when the storm hit and after, when everyone was stranded. And it's a really interesting meta and micro kind of study of all these events that came into action, like from a political level to a human level to an economic level. Like, essentially, there was one part where the guy's like, they will never let anything happen to the French Quarter because that's where all the money is. The Ninth Ward they could give a flying rat's ass about is because it's so poor. And they went back to 1968, I believe, when Hurricane, what the fuck was it? The last hurricane that fucked up New Orleans really bad was in 1968. And they blew the levees at that time to flood the Ninth Ward to get pressure off of the French Quarter.
Yeah.
So the Ninth Ward would flood as opposed to the French Quarter.
Yeah, I had heard about that. They purposely flooded the Ninth Ward.
Hurricane Betsy in 1968. There we
go. Yeah,
So,
they have done, since 1968, they did exactly fuck all to protect the Ninth Ward.
I think they've done exactly fuck all to protect New Orleans. I mean, the levees are still hanging out, doing whatever.
That's the same ones that they built right after Hurricane Betsy. I think the Army Corps of Engineers came in and they built the area up, but they haven't been, like, modernizing them or anything.
And now New Orleans apparently is more dangerous than it was before Katrina. I don't know if you've got numbers on that, Thorn, but this is...
Which one? Let me go get them.
That the documentary basically was saying that New Orleans is more dangerous now than it was before Katrina.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, because it went from like, if you look at this strictly the per capita homicide rate, there's a sharp spike after Katrina, and it's not a spike. Spike is wrong. Statistically speaking, a spike is like an anomaly in the graph. I mean, it was a rise.
Yeah,
like, it's been a steady rise, and New York went down, and New Orleans passed them very quickly.
Wow.
Yeah. City of New York actually has very little crime for a city as big as it is. Props to them.
I think that has a lot to do with Giuliani when he was mayor or whatever in the 80s.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
What did you say, Tigerson?
Back now.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Tigerson.
No, yeah, I couldn't tell what the fuck that word was.
I know, I didn't know what he said. I'm like, what?
I thought he said fuck no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That actually sounds plausible.
But yeah, it might have been Giuliani and his task forces helped quite a bit. Give him all the shit you want. That particular thing did help.
I don't know, for 100%, but I mean, New Orleans is not a happy place to go to, especially now. I know, like, a lot of people wanted to go home, and now they're like, "Nah, I don't fuck that. I'm not going home."
Yeah, the folks. Yeah, there's a lady in my building that was displaced by Katrina, and I'm just like, "Did you ever want to go home?" She's like, "Not anymore." She's like, "It's safer in Chicago."
They had some of the worst schools in the country.
Yeah. Yeah, that might actually be us. But the whole thing with
yeah, there's some bragging points.
I know. Thank you. Katrina. After Katrina, there was a steady rise in crime, and partly due to like, you are actually pretty. You could get mugged in the French Quarter. There was just a case that a tourist was like, they beat the ever-loving fuck out of him for his wallet. So New Orleans is a scary place to be right now. And St. Louis is a scary place to be right now.
Yeah.
Has Has New Orleans been affected much by these is it these storms and stuff, and that's made it a slightly worse place then,
Um,
or
it
is it
was
just
basically a slow climb after Katrina. They didn't get hit really as hard by the hurricane as some other areas of the country.
sure? I was in New Orleans about 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, and it was from what I could see, it seemed to be pretty as smooth as New Orleans can go. Because in the evening, me and my friend I was with, we were sort of going down these lonely alleyways in the French Quarter at night, and didn't seem particularly dangerous. And I can I'm sure there are plenty of areas which we didn't go, which would have been much worse. But and we were sort of we were in this hostel that was sort of on the outskirts, so we kind of got a view of both sides of it. But yeah, we probably didn't see some of the worst areas. But that's from a tourist perspective, which is going to be a bit different.
Yeah, tourists tend to go to the areas that are a little bit more polished, and you don't actually end up seeing.
Yeah, I was in a few areas that were certainly didn't look as if they were completely polished, but I wouldn't know whether they were sort of known as high crime areas or not. Probably not where they put a hostel though.
Yeah. I was actually speaking of hostels and crime in tourist areas. I was actually mugged in Miami Beach at gunpoint.
Oh, that's nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't. I know it wasn't you. You don't leave Las Vegas.
In daylight.
You're right on that.
No, it
In
was
day-
not in. It was not in daylight. I was living on Miami Beach at the time, and I was on I forgot what street I was on actually, but it was. I mean, the whole of Miami Beach is basically a tourist area. But I was on
Yeah.
one of the smaller side streets, and I don't know if this guy thought I was a tourist or whatnot, but he's basically like, "Give me your backpack," and he points a gun in my face. And what was funny was when the police were asking me about it afterwards. I don't know.
I was in all these places like the French Quarter at night, and in Miami Beach, and there was also a time when I was at night when I was in a slightly rundown area of downtown Los Angeles, and I was just so lucky that I never got any confrontations. But I was in downtown Los Angeles, in fucking Miami Beach as well, but it was mostly in daylight. And
The entire city. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is very kind of just very polished and kind of odd.
But
we did find a really nice diner there.
There's a couple really nice places to eat in Miami Beach, but even Tigerson, you can kind of tell the longer you spend there, the shadier it feels. Miami Beach.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I could get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You start getting very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there. I felt kind of uncomfortable by the end of the day, really, because of how kind of fake a lot of it seemed.
Yeah, and not like Las Vegas polished fake, just like kind of
Yeah.
half-assed fake. Stop. Hey, you guys are proud of that shit. Don't even get started.
I was in Vegas as well for a night or so. It was one of the weirdest places I've ever been. 'Cause
Yeah, you always
like-
tell the strip.
it was just so clean and polished, but
What fucking
really
part
just-
did you go to?
The strip
Except for the
probably.
Mexicans handing out like little pamphlets with like
Naked ladies.
with explosions where their no parts should be.
clean and polished, but also fake.
But but like in Vegas, it seems like I'm gonna have some fun here. In Miami Beach, it's like I'm gonna get like left in a hole.
Yeah,
Time
I
for the
wasn't,
fun, Snake, and you're dead.
I wasn't 21 at the time, but I'd befriended someone who was, and so she went and got some beer from Walgreens, and we just drank it walking down the street that we bought from Walgreens. That's
I
how
don't remember
classy we
Walgreens
were.
selling alcohol.
They do in Vegas.
They do in
I
Miami
hear
Beach,
it. But to say the ones I go to don't sell alcohol, or no, that's about all they don't sell.
It was a particularly big one.
Oh, okay. So I guess they branched out.
Yeah, well, they do yeah.
Unless it's the one on the strip, then I guess that's possible.
And then I did go and have a beer in the bar of the hotel I was staying. I was staying in the Excalibur, which I managed to get a good deal on that as part of this coach tour thing. And yeah, like a 330 ml bottle was $7. Yeah.
Yeah, James Von Maxwell, 17 years ago, walked around downtown Chicago, never felt any fear. Very nice people, actually, great middle Americans. And that's what I mean. Like, 17 years ago, there was actually a serious fucking crime problem going on in some parts of Chicago. And, you know, people still, as long as you're downtown, you're kind of fine. Shit doesn't happen on the Mag Mile. Not very often, anyway. Because that's like the Magnificent Mile in downtown Chicago. That area there is kind of the tourist area of Chicago. It's like you got Navy Pier, the Hancock Building, the all the way down to the museum campus. Everything is pretty like clean and polished. There's a lot of police presence and everything. So that's usually the only part of Chicago people ever see. And that's the area that's definitely the most safe. And
You can imagine there's very limited areas that tourists in LA go and see, because LA is huge. It's absolutely huge, and there's only a very small proportion of it that is sort of internationally representative, and that tourists will go to, such as the Hollywood Walk of Fame and stuff.
Yeah, because most of LA is a shithole.
Yeah, same with London. I think sort of got all sorts of shitholes in London.
Oh, James Von Maxwell. Oh, he actually wasn't on the tourist area. He was a little bit further away. Huh. Interesting. James was more in the Loop area, which is like the business, kind of a business district. But, you know. Oh, God. Sorry, dead air. I'm reading the chat.
Have we been mostly talking about sort of crime in urban areas, or are we getting onto sort of gun control debates as well?
I'd rather.
Yeah, no, everything usually kind of starts off where it's supposed to, then just kind of bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it on track, but
Gotta
we
be
kind of
disciplined.
have already diverged.
Gun control, as long as you're holding the gun right and hitting your target,
Use
I have no
two
problem.
hands.
and as long as you're the one in fucking control of your gun.
Gun control means knowing
Responsibility.
where the safety is.
Trigger
Two of my
discipline.
guns don't have safeties.
Oh, okay.
Actually, from what I remember, no Glock has a safety.
So basically, don't point it at something you're not willing to shoot.
No, just keep your finger off the fucking trigger. Well, yeah, don't point your gun at anybody you're not willing to shoot, but that's beside the point. Yeah, trigger discipline.
Trigger discipline.
Keep the booger hook off the bang stick.
Trigger warning.
Keep your booger hook off the bang switch, for fuck's sake. I don't give a shit if you think you look cool. God damn it.
Looking cool is what actually gets people shot.
Yeah, and
Like that one dude that you were ranting about, Wolfshot.
shut up.
I think
That shit just fucking lights me on fire every time.
I think I remember this now.
Yeah, you do.
Voted most likely to accidentally shoot himself on a live stream.
Are you fucking serious?
He's like, he has his gun like with his finger on there and pointed like this at his shoulder.
Here, Ron, can you see the side chat on the live stream?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send you
Every time
his.
the Hangouts, yes, I can see it.
Yeah, I'll send you his YouTube.
Yeah, go
Wait a
watch
second.
this.
Oh, okay. I thought I was about to ask you talking about somebody else, but that wasn't a live stream. That was just a video he was dumb enough to record himself accidentally shooting himself in the leg.
I mean, did he actually shoot himself? Because I was looking at him, just like, I know nothing about guns, and even I know that he's doing some shit wrong. A lot of it is just kind of common sense, isn't it?
Yes, unfortunately, most people don't have that.
Common sense isn't always common.
I think common sense could be kind of dictated by what people see in movies about how people hold guns.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I told you. I fucking
Like
told
The
you.
fact that guns don't, like the fact that the magazine's
I
never
have no-
empty.
If I kind of reached into my mind and sort of thought, what would I instinctively do if I was given a handgun?
Gangsta hold.
I wouldn't know how to define common sense because I don't think people do have common sense.
Yeah, they don't know if
In
The
this
only
case,
definition I could give is knowing you're not supposed to do something without actually having to be fucking told.
Yeah.
Also, don't hold your
Knowing
gun
to-
like this.
It
gangsta
looks
hold.
cool, but it's not.
It looks cool, but this is how all these assholes end up shooting innocent people in like drive-bys. Is because they hold their fucking gun like this. You can't hit anything. Like what the shit? Oh, also
no, let's face it, drive-bys are more of a scare tactic than anything because it's very hard to hit somebody doing that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's got an automatic weapon and you just spray and pray. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually talking about this with somebody. I'm just like, I definitely don't want these. They're just like, oh yeah, automatic weapons would be better for people that have worse aim. I'm just like, so you want them to shoot more bullets badly? That sounds like a terrible idea. That sounds like a great way to get bystanders hit.
All I know is buy your bump stocks now before they fucking ban them.
James don't whack that. James, the hamster's asking if I have any guns. I do not own any guns. I own several blunt objects and a machete. But no guns.
Bitches Michonne.
Shh, don't tell Chicago. Shh. We're not supposed to have those. I got it in Miami. It's Cuban home defense. Yeah, it's Cuban home defense.
You can't have those?
Too long.
I've seen people open carry those on the fucking bus here.
Mm-hmm. It's too long of a blade. I can't have anything that's longer than my palm.
That's... I don't know. Here, you can't conceal a knife longer than, I think it's either 3 inches or your pinky.
Yeah. And it can't be concealed either. And you can't have anything that's a spring-loaded blade.
Switchblade.
Yeah, stilettos, switchblades, any kind of spring, or even like a folding knife that has a spring release. We can't have those either.
You can't have assisted opening?
Nope.
Wow.
Did you ever see that gun control thing that John Stossel did on New York?
Mm-mm.
Well, when he was trying to show how difficult it is to apply for a concealed weapon, and one of the questions one of the things he had to know is all these different types of knives and how they worked. Now, I don't know why you'd have to know that for a fucking gun permit. The permit fee was also roughly half a ground, and you had to wait roughly 5 to 7 months to know if you even got it. Oh, and you'd have to prove that your life's in danger.
How much was the fucking CCW?
Just the permit fee to turn it in. At the time of the video, I can't remember if he said it was $200, $400, or more.
Oh my god!
But it was in New York. Yeah, I know. And then he's like, then you have to print up all kinds of proof that your life's in danger. So unless somebody's immediately trying to kill you, fuck off.
Even Chicago didn't go that retarded. They just like no handguns.
If you pass a background check. Here, if you pass a background check and you have the money, guess what?
Yeah, that's pretty much it here.
Also, by the way, chat, that's part of the reason I don't have a gun is because the cost is retarded and the process is retarded, and I can't drive to a gun range to actually get certified. So.
Well, here the permit application fee for when you turn it in is like $97.60 or something like that, and it's like 60 something to a renew. They don't warn you. They just say you better keep track of it because it takes up to 4 months to get it takes up to 120 days to get the new permit. So if you don't apply in time, it's your own damn fault. If your shit expires, you're just out of luck. You just got to go back and renew. Yeah, unlike license, you don't get a warning.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Well, yeah, I have my calendar on my phone set to let me know when I should go get it renewed.
Up here, you're only allowed to have one firearm per household.
I've got 4.
Not gonna say how many I have.
Wolf Chat has an armory.
I've got like a water pistol.
Well, you guys
is that legal where you are?
Is
that legal where you are?
Is it still legal?
It probably will become illegal soon because it's offensive in some way. I don't know.
It is offensive.
What color is it?
It's orange.
Well, it's literally just no. Well, everyone gets like a. It's just like a little toy thing that you get in a Kinder Egg or like a Happy Meal or something. Probably.
Ban Happy Meals.
Ban Kinder Egg. Oh wait.
Oh yeah. Kinder Eggs have been banned, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna ban them there soon because you could get offensive things from the Kinder Egg.
Oh, offensive racist jokes or something. Racial stereotyping toys or something. I don't know.
Culturally appropriating toys. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing about, because we've never had any sort of Second Amendment in England, and I think that's the reason why there is this sort of cultural, recreational attitude towards guns in America is literally because the Second Amendment existed in the first place, and therefore it allowed a culture like that to thrive. And so, which is not, it's just the same I think in England, the same with pornography as well. There were huge restrictions on pornography in England in the 70s, around the time that adult films were becoming quite popular in the 70s in America, because we just had all these restrictions on them, and that just affected the culture in a big way. That in general, the attitude towards pornography in America is just a lot more kind of indifferent or kind of flippant compared to it is in England. So a lot of this just comes from historical, legal restrictions on things such as whether it be guns or porn or whatever. Although y'all did have prohibition, didn't you? Yeah, that was silly.
I was about to bring up prohibition because that's
so strange. Land of the free, but prohibition.
It
is one of the worst things about your country is the drinking age, because a lot of college kids, 18-year-old boys, they can't, go down to the bar, have a pint of beer together, have a beer together, and they can't enjoy alcohol in a safe setting like that while they're in college, which is the prime age for doing sort of that. They're not allowed to kind of mature themselves into that kind of person, so they have to drink. They have to get spirits that they've been snuck in and drink that in private situations, which is pretty dangerous and then leads to stupid behavior. So it's really not good, the drinking age in America.
Also,
it's actually pretty detrimental. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, I don't know if you saw the message to you in the chat. The Second Amendment is not for hunting; it's for defeating a tyrannical government. Should this happen again? That was directed at you.
Wait, which comment said that?
James.
Wait, I can see it now. Second Amendment is not for hunting; it's for defeating a tyrannical government. Should this happen again? Yeah. Well, I would.
I'm sorry,
you British fuck.
I'm sorry.
Certainly that was one of the purposes of it. But I guess the kind of recreational attitude towards guns was a bit of a byproduct of the Second Amendment as well. It's not as if the purpose of the Second Amendment means that that's the only thing that people, respect it for. But I know that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a hunting thing. Jacob Neva, I am sober, thank you. Last night on her stream, Ren brought up some BuzzFeed videos, so I had to get very, very drunk because it's BuzzFeed and it's cancer.
Of course.
What else?
Ass cancer.
Ass cancer.
Yeah, I can't watch those videos directly. It has to be a response or no.
Oh, I can, but that's only because Freddy exists. Iowa, you need a permit from your county sheriff to get a handgun. Long gun, just a background check.
Yeah, we just need to pass a background check to get any gun here in Vegas.
That's probably just a, routine.
Well, and the money helps.
Yeah. Money does help. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to get a concealed carry in Chicago, by the way. It's very expensive.
How much did it cost there?
I think when I looked it up, it was like $500-600.
God damn.
How many years?
I don't know. I didn't look that one up. And you have to get like certified by a gun range that you actually know how to use your fucking weapon.
Which I can't disagree with, really.
Well, here
I
the
have a hard time
certificate's
having a
5
problem.
years.
Yeah, here it's 5 years. I pay $50 and that's it. For
I
5
think it's
years.
5 years.
It took 5 years to.
Plus whatever it costs you to go to the gun range.
What, it takes 5 years to be qualified in quotes?
No, that's how long the
what?
permit
4 or
lasts
5
for
years,
before it
yeah.
expires.
Yeah. So I paid $50 to have a concealed carry permit for 5 years.
Okay, right.
And then I took a gun control or a gun, not gun control, god damn it. A gun class. Well, I didn't have to take one, but my wife took one and that was like $30. And that's it. Yay.
Control is hitting the target.
Yeah, happy face.
Hang on, I'm causing a bit of a shitstorm in the YouTube
Why?
chat.
What are you doing now? God damn.
Saying we shouldn't have left the Empire. I will throw your tea in a harbor.
Yeah, fuck your tea,
Well,
bitch.
considering
This
how
is
well
America.
the UK has turned out recently, we were justified. But that's none of my business. Lol. Okay. Yeah, well, we didn't have slavery, did we? Well, we did,
Yeah,
but
you
not
did.
as much as y'all.
I was about to say what? Excuse me,
but
sir?
Hey!
Yeah, but not as much as y'all.
We'll shut back off the mic. It's okay.
But in all seriousness, the UK has a better food source. Oh, thank you. That was Zero, Dade Murphy. Thank you. Well, he's formerly known as Zero Cool. I don't know why I changed that.
So we're gonna spend the last 10 minutes talking about food because I feel like we eat way too much fucking sugar.
We've gone on a tangent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've ignited the shitstorm.
That's how live streams work.
Yeah, it's how my live streams tend to go. I
That's
keep
how
it on
any
track.
live stream goes, baby. Sorry.
Hey, I keep it on track for longer than most people do. So.
Yeah, this is true.
But yeah, we have way too much sugar in our food, and you know why? It's because of the frickin' corn subsidies.
Monsanto.
Most of it comes through drinks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most of it is just what people take in drinks is what the worst.
Leave my Pepsi out of this.
Not even Pepsi.
Leave my Red Bull out of this shit.
Not even those drinks.
No, they're not good. Not good.
I
know they're not really good, but like go into any gas station and like after this, seriously, go to a gas station.
Oh, the ethanol.
Try to find something that isn't bottled water that doesn't have sugar in it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
Good luck.
definitely.
Even the sports drinks.
There's about was it 50 grams of sugar in just like a 500 ml bottle of Coke, and that's the sort of standard size of Coke. And it's ridiculous.
I'm staring at my vitamin water.
Vitamin water.
And my vitamin water. Oh my god.
My vitamin water. I take my vitamins.
Is it like diet water?
It's
diet water.
20 grams of
or
sugar.
Or smart water.
Yeah, 20 grams of sugar.
Yep. See.
Yeah, not good.
James Von Maxwell, goddamn right, it's corn subsidies. If you're gonna subsidize something from corn, make it whiskey for God's sake.
Oh my god, Jack Daniels, fuck yes. I love my corn squeezins. I'm white trash as fuck.
Hey, I love the South simply because I'm just like, here's a growler, fill it. Fucking fill it. What's funny is the dry counties in Kentucky where you can go to the distillery and get it, but they won't sell it in stores.
Dude, no, fucking.
You're only slightly Jesus-y.
We went to the Jack Daniels distillery in Tennessee, right? And at the end of the tour, they gave us what I thought was Jack Daniels, but no, it's in a dry county.
So it was like non-alcoholic, sad-ass Jack Daniels for pregnant women?
I'm like, what the fuck are you giving me? Like, I spit the shit on the floor. I'm like, what is this? Oh, this is a dry county. And I'm like, why are you here?
This is a dry county.
This is a dry county. And
dry county sounds as ridiculous.
Please don't spit on the floor. And I fucking, like, hawked my entire fucking chaw on the floor. And I'm like,
bye.
Sorry about that.
I was like, really. Jesus, like, don't give me this shit. Just give me water and explain that it's a dry county.
And that's how you create trust issues.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I have trust issues. Thank you, Ron.
A dry
No.
county sounds as ridiculous as a gun-free zone.
It's
But
basically
they
an
work
extension.
so well. Oh wait.
Oh yeah, it's great. At my new job, right? Yeah, it's fucking great. We had an active shooter training. Air
Oh,
quotes.
lovely.
Air quotes, please, Thorn.
Why are we doing this? They're not allowed in here.
Air quotes.
Thank you. And I was like, do I have to do this? I actually did this for real. Like, for real, for real.
Like I was a cop.
And they're like, no, you have to do it. And I'm like, so what about like concealed carry? Can we do that on the premises? And they're like, I'm sorry, all these liberal hippy dippy bullshit cocksucking motherfuckers are like, oh my god, no. And I'm like, but throwing a sign at someone isn't gonna help. I promise.
Wikipedia snip is asking if there's any passive shooters.
Passive aggressive shooters.
Passive shooters. What? So they hold the gun, but someone else pulls the trigger. I don't know.
Yeah, is that what that means? Like
Semantics.
They got
wanna
a
see
spotter?
somebody
Is that
do
what that
that.
is?
It's a semantic nightmare.
Passive shooter just be a sniper?
Yeah.
That's the
But
closest thing I can think of. It's just like you're just walking down the street and all of a sudden your head explodes like a melon under a sledgehammer.
no,
What the
seriously.
fuck round are they using?
It was just so bad. And they were like, are you some kind of like gun nut or something? And do you have a gun on you? And I'm like,
Wish I did.
no.
I'm still talking to you.
Yeah, I lie even
Of
when I
course
do.
not.
This
You
is
have a
a
gun?
dra-
Nope, don't know what we're talking about.
This is a dry county.
Yeah, exactly. This is a dry county.
I'm sorry.
You're not supposed to have a gun on premises. Yeah, I don't
quote,
yeah,
the
fuck
quote-
that sign.
The quote today is just going to be, "This is the dry county."
Yeah, no,
We're
seriously.
gonna have to rename the stream that.
But you know,
Yeah.
Tigerson, you know why they did? Oh my God, I will. You know why they do the whole dry county thing, right?
Why?
Because Jesus.
Oh,
Jesus
blimey.
doesn't
It's
like
true.
the drinking.
It's true.
What?
That's
Yeah,
that's the only reason why they do
I'm-
it for our county, and they don't sell alcohol past 10 o'clock.
But wine is like an integral part of the Christian faith and the Christian, imagery and all that.
Well, no one said they were. I mean, no one said they were smart. All right, dude.
Not all. Yeah, but a lot of the Southern churches don't do the sacrament.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a Catholic.
a lot
That's
of
a Catholic thing.
a lot of that's the problem that Catholic. I mean, I'm an Anglican, which is a sort of, which is an.
That's
sort
a
of
Catholic
specifically
without
English.
the Pope.
That's
No,
the
no,
fucking
no, no, no,
Catholic.
no, 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 no. That's a sort of specifically English Protestant variety. Although it does sort of kind of descend from Catholicism, but yeah, the reason why there's all this craziness in American Christianity that's not in Britain is simply because of the ones that came over and preached the message first. The message was just taken on this face value, and it was all just stupid, and it needs to go back. But everyone's all. But then it's just gone so far. You have all these people. I've seen these people who have YouTube channels where they talk about how that everyone believes that quote unquote science is on their side, and you have these people that believe scientifically the scientific proof of the Earth being 4,000 years old or something. But it's just so far gone to kind of
Shut up,
take
Kevin.
back a bit
Don't
because
forget
it started badly in the first place, and it just it's awful.
Ren, go ahead.
I said also
Sorry.
don't forget it's flat.
Yes.
God damn it.
Is flat Earth is that? I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I couldn't remember, but I don't know whether the Flat Earth Society is fundamentally a Christian thing. Though, correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong on that.
Not really.
Is it? Well, you got people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's overlap, but it's not.
There's
strictly a
overlap.
Christian
There's definitely
thing.
overlap, but yeah, it's fucking.
No,
News story.
I don't know.
No, the flat Earth
Maxwell.
thing, definitely,
News
yeah.
story that someone found human teeth from 9 million years ago. Oh yeah, I think I saw that somewhere floating
I'm gonna
around.
check that out after this.
Yeah, I've studied a bit of. I know about evolution, sort of. I studied it a bit recently in a module in it in uni. And
Judas.
I know a bit of shit about shit, and yeah, the rates of people who, I mean, I hate to use the term believe in evolution because it's merely
It's evolution, not evolution, you fucking Brit.
Don't interrupt him.
Okay. I hate to use the term believe in evolution because it's not a case of belief. It's just kind of an acceptance. But the sort of levels of acceptance of evolution in America are dangerously low compared to other nations. It's really kind of frightening.
It's yeah.
It's a genuinely but these people have now just gone so far beyond that they think that science is on their side, that that the Earth is 4,000 years old, and I'm just like, that is not
6,000.
That is just not 4,000. I think I can't remember who the guy's name it was who.
I don't know, but
Some
we're
sound
kind of
is,
saved by the fact that nobody actually takes these people seriously in America, despite the fact that there's a lot of them.
They have. It's just, but a lot of them have kind of a lot of them just head up these churches though, and some of them are in sort of positions of authority / sort of low scale authority and responsibility, and it's just kind of it's just annoying, really. As in, I mean, I'm not an atheist, so from a British, an Anglican perspective, it's just kind of frustrating. Like my brother, who was, as I said before, he was traveling around the States. He went to a couple of churches in Boston, and then, it was nice. But then he'd have these people talking about how, something about evolution. I don't know, and it just kind of ruined the whole thing for him because he was just, yeah. But anyway, sorry, we've gone off on a massive tangent now.
No, a little bit. I mean, we got 2 minutes left, so I kind of just let the tangent run. Chat seems to be having fun.
Should we try and get back to guns?
We got 2 minutes left. I think we should all shill our shit and maybe call it a night, a day. Well, a night for Tiger.
Say, night, where the fuck are you? I see sun.
I think that's sun. It's ambient light, not sun, but yeah. But night for Tigerson, day for the rest of us.
Oh, it's only like fucing 7 o'clock.
Evening then. Jesus Christ, semantics. All right. So I'm gonna go in the same order. Wolfshot.
Hey, I'm Wolfshot. I like to fuck shit up. My Twitter's @FangsToFlesh, and my YouTube is Wolfshot. Thank you for having me on, Thorn, and I'm sad you didn't get the $50.
Me too. Tigerson.
I'm Tigerson, and I have a YouTube channel which is quite small, and I have a Twitter account which I will post in the YouTube chat. But thank you for listening to me and love me.
I'm gonna put it in the description. It's in there, but it's incorrect. I have to change the 0. The O to a 0.
Bastard.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you kind of messed up the whole Twitter handle there.
I'm sorry. I'll fix all of the Twitter handles afterwards. I just wanted to throw the Hangout link up. But go ahead.
Running Guns News. I do pro-gun videos. I can be found on most social media just by searching Running Guns News. And sub or else.
Sub or else. Sub or else will shoot you.
I'll put a bullet in your ass.
Hey, if I wasn't afraid to shoot myself, I won't be afraid to shoot you.
Nice.
I'm sure you don't want to shoot yourself.
Oh, keep your booger finger off the bang switch.
Oh, yeah.
It already happened one time by accident.
Yes. Wolfshot's right, so the moral... Hey, shut up. Everybody shut up. The moral of the whole stream is keep your booger finger off the bang switch.